You want to have a football question real quick?
Sure. Love it.
Because I like asking you these questions because I like you to keep it real.
Hmm?
Like in real life, that IRL. That's what I'm going to do with you.
Sure.
Keep it real.
Girl.
If I tell you right now, who has more of a chance next year? I'm going to go the Canes or the Dolphins. Who you got? College may be a little easier just because of competition, but they still, when they've had powerhouses, they still haven't won the ACC.
That's true.
So I'm just going, you got Tua, and then you got a quarterback who won a national championship and that team didn't want him.
Yes.
Right? So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have the Canes going to have an unbelievable defense, I believe. I just think with those guys returning, they look really good.
And a new coordinator.
Yeah, that's true. And then you got the Dolphins. Like, I don't know where they fit in because they have a lot of pieces that you can honestly say you're unsure about.
Much tougher schedule this year than last year for the Canes.
Yeah.
Last year was...
I just saw Virginia doesn't have to play Clemson, Miami, Notre Dame, or who else? Who's the other? They have to play SMU. They don't have to play any of those teams. So they might qualify for the championship just because of their schedule.
Yeah, the Canes have Notre Dame to open up the season, which we're all excited about. They got Florida end of September. Then they go to Florida State. I don't know what Florida State's going to be this year.
Is that the most baffling
But
thing?
it is a rivalry game.
Okay.
And then they got to go to SMU this year.
Ooh.
At the beginning of November. They got Syracuse. You guys better get revenge on that game.
Syracuse
still makes me sick to my stomach.
Well, I mean, Syracuse
21-0, dude.
Yeah. You do realize who you're talking to.
I know.
All right. I've been on.
What a crime.
You know what's amazing about that situation? You never remember the times you were on the other side of that. Because the Canes have been playing with fire for like 3 weeks.
They were playing.
Right. So
they literally had, but what they basically had was like a stunt devil at quarterback. Because he's like, watch this, guys. There's a swimming shark. I'm gonna tightrope it across, and hey, we came out with the win.
Right. And so when you're on the other side of that, why do we insist on not believing that it could happen to you? Right? The Golden State Warriors won 73 games 1 year.
It just felt
they came back from 3-1 and then lost 3.
It just felt like the defense got progressively worse as the season.
Were they banged up, or was the offense just putting them in a lot of those situations?
Well, I mean, the offense, they did have to come up with some key stops for the offense to pull out those miracles.
Yeah, but they were in that situation. I don't know. So that's the thing. When you think of when you think about the Dolphins, I think defensively they'll be okay, right? Offensively, you have a lot of power, a lot of firepower.
Gus Malzahn's still doing it.
Yep.
Jesus.
But
guy looks like he should be in a rocking chair.
But you have a better, I would say, you have more hope because you've seen the players that they have success.
Yeah, I think the Canes got a good backfield. I think that they've shown
the offensive line is dominant.
Come on.
Yeah.
Just full of moose.
Yeah. But that's how a football team is built, in case you're wondering.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and so to get to your question on the Dolphins, would you be more surprised if the Dolphins finished first or last?
I would be more surprised
first.
Well, you're just saying because you got Buffalo. But I would say
they can't beat.
Right.
They can't
I would say this. Shockingly, I think they'll win 10, 11 games. I do. And here's what I'm going to say. The sign of a good coach, right? And I do believe, when I say I believe Mike McDaniel is a good coach, one of the signs of a good coach is to be able to self-evaluate. And when I look at all the places that he's coached, all those places have had a physical run game. Like while we're talking about he came from San Francisco. San Francisco's physical up front, which is amazing. I don't recognize this is nothing that Mike McDaniel did last year. Nothing he's done in all the places that he's been in.
Nope.
Nothing. Now, I will say this. Young coaches and new coaches sometimes overcoach a situation. That means that you think you know what they're going to do, so you come out with an adjustment without even identifying whether they can stop what you do. And that's what it looked like he did last year with all those short passes, all those runs, trying to figure out, hey, we're not strong in the middle on the offensive line, so we're going to run a whole bunch of sweeps and quick passes and try to be ahead of that, when sometimes you got to just line up and play football.
Sure.
So I think if you go back and see all the places that he's come, this is the farthest away from any of that, what they did last year.
Yeah, they couldn't run the football to save their life last year. It was because even when they had Mostert, and you remember you talking about this, like it took him a while. Kind of took until Jeff Wilson got there to start running up the middle, like kind of changed the attitude of the team and Raheem Mostert. But like last year, he was bad, then injured. And, so I'm hopeful that
But they got a couple of more physical running backs.
Mm-hmm.
They got a couple of physical guys up front. But this is one of the situations where I'm going to say this. One of the things I appreciate about playing at that level is that guys have the ability to adjust to what is demanded of them, right? Like, football players aren't soft, right? Offensive linemen, defensive linemen are not soft. But sometimes you put them in situations where you're asking them to not be as physical and, with all the sweeps and stuff like that. And they lose focus on being physical and understanding that offensive, defensive lines are physicality.
So you'd be more surprised, Marcos, if they were first than last?
Yeah, for sure.
Just because they can't be Buffalo.
Yeah,
because none of us think nobody thinks the Patriots are going to come out of nowhere to win the division.
Nope. No,
even though they spent a lot of money, they got a new coach, Drake May. People are higher on him.
They're going to be extremely physical. If you look at what their coach has done at every stop, they've run the football, play action, physical up front.
Wasn't he supposed to cut off his junk?
He would only cut off his junk if they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
They only got to the AFC Championship.
I got to tell you, I wish I had won the Super Bowl.
Not like that.
Not like that. And I would hope that everybody would understand that we not self-neutering.
Paleo says 2-13 versus Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Okay, it happens. Like I've been victim of that.
Is that it happens? It feels like that. No, it's a certainty.
Yeah.
Guess what?
It happens to the Dolphins.
I think in the 5 years I was in Cleveland, and then in Minnesota, and then in Baltimore, I beat the Pittsburgh Steelers one time.
Two things are annoying about the Bills, right? Not only that they stomp the Dolphins, but it's always that they lose to Josh Allen. And has Tua gotten hurt like 3 times against them? Seriously?
Yeah.
I know he had the concussion. I know he got his ribs broken. I feel like there was another time too that he got hurt against the Bills.
Wasn't it his head hit the ground like a late hit or something like that, or his back?
I don't know. Maybe it was only twice, but they were 2 big injuries. I know he got his. I know AJ Epinesa broke his ribs.
Yeah.
Because the Dolphins had a dollar store line.
Wow.
And then went Leroy Jenkins putting his head into DeMar Hamlin.
Not the best. Not the best form there.
So I think I'd be less surprised if they finish last, just because I don't think they can finish first. I don't think they can beat that team until I see it.
Until you see it,
and until I see it, how can I believe it?
Right, and that's the thing. Like, there's certain aspects of just Dolphins football that until you see something different, I can't be mad at you if you make an assumption.
Evan 11 says, I think you guys are omitting that there have been times they've been close to beating the Bills, like last year. Yes, but there's also been times where the Bills have stomped on them too, Evan. So it's like usually there's a close one that's always a squeaker, and then there's an ass kicking. Except for the year they were able to beat them in the heat, and then they played them pretty close on the road.
Right.
You know, where the Bills fans all recognized, did you guys know it's hot in Florida? Oh, I hate that fan base.
Ban the sun.
Is the guy in the elbow room, is he a Bills fan? Is that why they host them? Because I don't want anybody to turn down money, but can we ban them? Can that just be a Panthers bar now?
Yeah, come on, right? Like the Bills haven't brought you championships. No Bills fans are there at 3 a.m. waiting on Sasha Barkov.
I miss him. Where is he? Where is that rascal?
Getting drunk.
Him and Reinhardt. That one goes for the ages, those two.
Yeah.
Let's go. It sounds like they're having fun in there.
We're having fun here.
No. Barkov's like, we're having fun here. And Reinhardt's like, we'll party. And you're just ranting like a drunk.
Yep.
You ever have that like with a friend where you party with them too much, but they get emotional, so you gotta watch them?
Yeah.
But you're drunk too.
Yep.
Oh, you just want to get into shenanigans?
Like when you started shadow boxing?
Yes.
Dude. So, first of all, we walking down the strip and go, was that the same time we go, are you hungry? And we ate, I got lobster mac and cheese on the strip, and it was 100 degrees at 12 o'clock at night.
Hungry.
And we were hungry. So we walking through the casino. No, this was the first time we went.
Oh.
Because this is when we went with Crowder and Hawk to the restaurant, and you were sitting at the bar behind me buying drinks.
The boy Dale on YouTube says it was the DeMar hit, the wobble walk, which they won the wobble walk, and then the broken ribs.
The wobble walk.
The wobble walk was my back, right? Was that the one that was?
They said he hurt his
back?
back. Yeah,
my back.
When he was probably concussed
for sure
because he got shove skied.
100%.
And then he got hurt, right? Like he got hurt
Yes.
the next day on Thursday Night Football they played.
Yep.
Yeesh. Stupid Bills.
Man.
Dirty Bills.
Dirty Bills.
You know what's annoying is like they're sitting here and they're doing the same thing with Patrick Mahomes, but it's such a higher level. Like we can't even win that part of the video game to elevate. Like that's
if you get past Josh Allen, you got to deal with the
like,
boss.
It's frustrating.
The boss monster.
It's frustrating.
We
you
tried.
know?
We tried.
But you know what? Like this is like sports. Like sometimes somebody gets on a heater, and if you're that other team or those other teams in that, it's like the Jordan years, right? How do you think Utah feels?
Oh.
Right? Like it, like, come on. It happens, but I'm like, everybody was talking about Utah. Oh, they can't get over the hump. These guys can't do this. These guys, but the answer is Jordan. So you're talking about Patrick Mahomes and the Buffalo quarterback in the same conference.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way you're going to get past it, and this is how it happens, is at some point they play each other and cancel one out, and you only got to beat one of them.
Take a break here on the show.